that song just like took over my life for a few days last week, and I thought, you know what, I got to finish this up. It's so fun to play. That's of course Itchycoo Park by the Small Faces. Ronnie Lane and Steve Marriott were and of course there was Kenny Jones in the band as well, who later on went on to spend time in the Who. Not anymore though. But anyway, the you know what? I'm going to have a little tutorial here at the end on the percussive playing I was doing there in the beginning, and show you how to do that if you don't already know, at least show you what I was doing. That might not necessarily show you how to do it, but anyway, that song, as I worked on it more, it's like there was just more and more stuff to do. Getting the timing of this. No, not that part. Where am I thinking of? A lot of really interesting syncopations in there, and it's just such an upbeat, happy song. You know, I don't have a lot of those. I tend to play more ones that are, well, Georgie Girl was pretty upbeat and happy, but anyhow. So I will get to that. I just have a few announcements. It is the end. Is it the 17th today? No, 18th. It's Friday the 18th. And of April. Of course, IGC starts next Thursday, so I probably won't be here for a Friday update. But and anybody thinking about joining us, I got room for one or two more people. We have 18 signed up now that are planning on coming, and that's perfect. But if somebody's thinking, I wonder if it's too late to squeeze in, it probably isn't. Get a hold of me. Anyway. And let's see, that's one piece of news. The biggest news this week is that we have this very cool extension that you can add to Chrome, a Google extension, the TotallyGuitars Lessons Saver. I mentioned this a couple of weeks ago, but it was still kind of in the development stages. It's available now. It's free. You just go into the Google extension store, download it, TotallyGuitars Lessons Saver, and install it, which is really easy. You just hit install, and then when you're on a lesson at Totally Guitars, you hit the extension and bring it up, and the option is save this lesson, and you could do that with 10 or 15 lessons. I don't know how many lessons, maybe hundreds, but that kind of defeats the purpose of having them easily accessible. And then it will, the next time you bring it up, you don't even have to go into you probably have to be at Total. No, I don't think you even have to be at Totally Guitars, but you might have to be. You just click on the extension. It's in the upper right hand corner of the Google screen, and click on that lesson, and it'll bring you right back to it. So I really want to thank Naz, our tech genius, for being able to put that together and get all the bugs worked out and have it. So if you're we're looking at getting it for Safari as well, I believe, but right now it's only available for Chrome. Anyhow, that's one of the big pieces of news. I want to talk too about our 3-minute challenge from last month. We did have a grand prize winner. Randy McCracken had a private lesson with me. Randy was in the UK, and so it was late morning for me and early evening for him, and it was really fun. I really enjoyed doing these and getting to meet new TG members who some of them have been around for a long time and really never had any personal interaction with them. So every time we do one of these 3-minute challenges, this will be something to look forward to. But that brought up an interesting question from Julian, I believe it was, who happened to be one of our other winners of the grand prize a while ago. And he mentioned this is a post on the forum, mentioned well, it takes me like 10 minutes to even warm up. How's that going to affect what I'm doing? And just a couple thoughts on that part of the 3-minute thing, there are two things. I hope I can keep it to two. One is this was partly geared towards people who don't pick it up enough because it seems like, I don't have time. I don't have an hour that I want to put into it. But if you just get in the habit of having it close by and pick it up and noodle around for 3 or 4 minutes at a time, that is partly designed to just get you in the habit of grabbing the guitar. Now, I have a feeling that Julian and a lot of other people have a good practice routine and play pretty regularly, and know that, okay, well, if I'm going to warm up a little bit first and play some things and do some exercises, then I'm going to try tackling what my latest project is. And what I a lot of times recommend with that is start with something that you've been playing for years. Start with something that is easy. Now, that's a tune I've played for about 50 years. Pretty close. And so I don't feel like I need a lot of warm up to play it. But so I might start with something like that, or but so try to warm up with tunes that you're really familiar with, or some exercises, playing some scales. Ooh, all of a sudden it starts sounding like. Nah, never mind. Get off. Focus. Okay. So warm up with an easy tune or two, and then dig into the latest project. Recently, my latest project was this. And I think I played it. Yeah, I played it last week, right? And it wasn't quite. I wanted to kind of have this in pretty good shape for camp in case I decide to do a Steely Dan medley. I also do. Weird chords in their tunes, right? Anyway, so I want to have those two tunes probably in good shape in case people ask me to play something difficult. But the state that Deacon Blues was in last week was I had most of the moves down, but I hadn't really had them connected. And what I found, what I've learned over the years, is that it's mostly a matter of not being able to get through something without like 100% conscious effort, which sometimes means you can't really be thinking ahead. And so, as I play through this beginning, this is pretty easy because it's the same chord change 4 times, same shape, just at different spots. Then we have a really weird chord and another one. So where I'm going with this is that right there, as I was playing through those parts, last week when I played those, many of those little phrases were not quite connected yet, or I would get to the end of one and I hadn't had time to be thinking about the next one, and there would be a little bit of a glitch. And here, like this little A chord, that little part was a part that came right on the heels of what? Back up. Came out of this kind of D13 chord, I guess is what we might think about that. And then, but I couldn't remember this little triangle shape that I had to land on right after it because I'm picturing that chord. We're landing on this F6 going to an F major 7. So again, what's happened between last week and this week is it's almost presentable or performable because I can think ahead better, and then I'm not as focused on finish that part. What happens next? What happens next? I can't remember. So anyway, learn all the parts first, get each little piece down, and then work on connecting them. Don't necessarily worry about going through the whole thing from top to bottom. Get from part A to part B, and you might have up to part T before it's ready to go. So anyway, that's my thoughts on that. I don't know if that is useful or not. Let me see if I can finish the song for you. Where did I just finish here? Back to a verse. Different chord ending. With that big old sharp 9 chord, E7 sharp 9. I'm going to save the discussion about ninth chords for another day, but let me get to let me think. See if I touch on everything I want to. Oh, we had another new lesson thanks to Nesh, a Lobo tune, Stoney, song I wasn't too familiar with, but it's definitely cool, very easy strumming campfire song. So if you're looking for an easy song to strum along, and a great, really cool video that was put in there of Lobo talking about the song, the genesis of it. So, all right, let's have a short lesson, a short tip on percussive playing. When you hear me do this, what I'm doing there is hitting the 6th string into the fretboard with the side of my thumb. The motion is more into the guitar rather than as if I'm going to strike it. Now, see, if I just come down on it like this, it's not hitting the strings. So you have to practice this motion of that way in there. So the way it worked in Itchycoo Park, what I started with was 2 bass notes, an E and an A. Then I've got an A chord down here, and I'm just grabbing the 2nd and 3rd strings. And that click comes in on beat 2, and 1 and 2. And that's what you're doing there. So you're clicking, usually in percussive playing, that click on the 6th string happens on beats 2 and 4. So that's the motion right there of coming in, hitting the 6th string. So just practice that first by itself, and when I finish there, I'm ready to hit that note again. So my thumb is right there on the string, ready to hit it. It does change chords. It goes to an F sharp minor chord, and all we need for the F sharp minor is a full bar there. Now when I'm hitting that 6th string, I'm also putting the 2 fingers that are about to hit the 2nd and 3rd strings again right back on the string, so they're ready to play. They're not out. I'm not doing this. I'm not coming in and my fingers hanging down here. They're coming right in and getting and touching the strings they're about to play. So that's the motion there. Also, I'm killing everything down here because I want everything to die. So my left hand, and I need that open E in the bass the whole time. So it's a combination of left hand muting the rest of the strings as you're coming in and hitting that. So a lot going on. Anyway, I'm not going to probably get to this. I hope to get to this next week, is a lesson on the tune and have the tab. I do have the tab, but I mean, I've got the whole thing written out, but I haven't had time to shoot the lesson yet. Just kind of getting camp prep is going on. So that's it. I'm going to sign off for April, because I probably am not, I don't think we're going to get news on Friday, but we might get news on Sunday after camp. So we'll see what happens. Anyway, that is it. I'm looking forward to the week and to meeting some of my new campers. That's always a special thrill for me. Is meeting people who have kind of mentioned, like I mentioned earlier. Maybe some of them have been around at Totally Guitars for a long time, but haven't had a face to face with them. That's it. See you soon.